and take a seat. Conversations that can't be beat. Music and movies to name a few. Sports and drinks and tiramisu. This is a podcast for everyone. Time to chat and have some fun. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk.
And happy Tuesday / St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Slante, is that how you say it, Avant?
I believe it is cilantro.
Slancha, thank you. I always get it confused. Slancha.
I could be completely wrong. So somebody who's actually Irish in the chat, please correct me.
Yes, please correct us, folks. But welcome back for another episode of Shawk Tawk, folks. We have a new guest this week with us, Avant Docs. Avant Docs, I know through another podcast entitled Three Scoundrels Cantina. We'll get into that later. We'll pimp your stuff later. But
Okay.
Avant, more importantly for now, let the audience know a little bit about you. Where, what do you do? What are the things you like? What are you interested in? Why are you here talking to me?
Why am I talking to you? That's a fantastic question. So my interests are, I first met Shaka through Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, as we call Swigo.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do some I do some streaming of that. I haven't done streaming on Twitch in a little while. I won't go into the details, but I plan to get back into some streaming here in hopefully the next couple of months. My interests are Star Wars, video games, working out, physical therapist by trade. So exercise is kind of my livelihood.
Oh, nice.
What else?
I've been having a bit of a shoulder issue. Do you want to come over and check it out at some point?
I'll tell you why your shoulder hurts.
What's that?
Because you're old.
That checks out. That's very accurate, sir.
No, I can answer or ask some questions after stream and hopefully give you some guidance.
I'm pretty confident I know why. So I was in a quad accident about 10 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, and jacked my shoulder up real bad, so I had to go through physical therapy for it. And like the way it was explained to me back then is that the trauma was so bad. Like I didn't break anything, I didn't separate anything, but the trauma was so severe that like the muscles wouldn't allow me to move my shoulder, I guess is the way they kind of explained it. So I had to like convince my muscles that it was okay to do those movements again. So I did like a long series of things to get them back, and the shoulder was fine and all good and everything. And just recently, it wasn't when I started working out, because I started working out like in a regular routine back in November, and this didn't just start happening until about a month ago. But I suspect because of the pain I feel, which is in my deltoid, it feels very similar to what it was when I was in that quad accident. So I'm guessing that I've somehow like flared that injury back up again. So, which means I'm probably gonna have to go to PT and specialize, work it out and all that jazz. So I
PT's
suspect
pretty
that's what it
good.
is.
I highly recommend physical therapy.
Yeah. I actually,
I'm slightly biased.
yes,
But,
I just got done with doing PT back in October, I think is when I finished for my meniscus.
Okay.
I tore my meniscus. Don't get old, guys. It sucks. I had no reason to tear my meniscus. It just happened. The doctor was like, "So what'd you do to make this pain happen?" I got out of bed. Like, what do you mean you got out of bed? I just woke up and it hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just old, man.
I threw my back out picking up my sock off the floor.
Yeah.
That's the story that I hear. It's real, man. Just getting old sucks, man.
It does. But, well, hey, man, I'm glad to have you on here, regardless of my shoulder status. We're going to talk some really good stuff tonight, guys. Some fun things here today. For those of you that are new to Shawk Talk and not familiar with this podcast and what we do here, folks, we talk about 5 key categories. Those categories being sports, gaming, music, cinema, and then food/drink. Now, each of those categories has kind of a twist to it, if you will, and obviously the details of those categories changes based on the guests that we have for the week. So, with that being said, Avant, you ready to get into our first topic?
Let's do it.
All right. First up, guys, we got
The Spread on Sports.
So, spread on sports for tonight / today, Avant. Are you more excited, or were you more excited, I guess is what I should say, for Olympic dominance? So not just the Olympics, but the Olympic dominance that we kind of saw in the Winter Olympics here, or March Madness. Which one do you look more forward to and or enjoy more?
15 years ago, I would have told you hands down March Madness. Like, I was skipping class on Thursday to watch March Madness. Not anymore. I feel like in the last 5 to 10 years, maybe it's me, maybe it's where I'm at in my life, college basketball is not as exciting to me as it once was. It could be the decline of my favorite team, Maryland Terrapins, or it could be how the NIL has changed college sports. But I find March Madness to be not as exciting as it once was for me.
Interesting. So I assume you went to Maryland, yes?
Yeah, I'm in Maryland alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did you go to a lot of games when you were in college there?
Oh my God, every basketball game.
Oh,
every
okay.
basketball game.
So it's like it's a big thing for you then from coming from college then.
But it was also ACC school at that time. That was before they were Big Ten. So it was like Maryland Duke, Maryland UNC, and then there were a lot of other good games too. Like a lot of great ACC matchups. Some with Clemson, Virginia was good a couple years. A lot of good matchups.
That makes me think of like Pitt. When Pitt used to be the Big East.
Yeah, Pitt, UConn.
Yeah, Beast of the East. Like, man, that it was so different back then. So I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum. I am not big into college basketball. I went to a small D3 school. I went to all of like 2 basketball games through college. I really don't care at all about it. I don't really care about college sports in general. With that being said, though, I still really enjoy March Madness. Like, I will watch as many games as I can just because the bracket is so much fun. You know, to do your brackets and to hope that you're right.
I do mine still.
Yeah, I just did mine like an hour ago. Like, it's just so fun, and it's cool that everybody can kind of have ownership in it to some degree. It's like fantasy football back before fantasy football became a thing, if you will. You know,
that's a good point.
Yeah, but so I come at it from a place of I enjoy it a lot, but it's for a selfish reason. It's not like I'm buying into college sports or college basketball in particular. Now with the Olympic dominance, so I specifically in this question, it's obviously not specific to Winter Olympics, but that's kind of what this is geared towards because of that's what just happened. I am not a Winter Olympic fan.
Oh, Summer Olympics are better than Winter Olympics, 100%.
Okay, so you were with me on that as well. Now,
absolutely.
So I did a trip to Lake Placid, and I will say that was incredible. It was so cool to see the history of that place, to be able to see, you know, both hockey arenas that were there. One is more of a current one, one's the original one. But no, I take that back. There's 3 of them. There's the current one that they use. There's the Miracle on Ice one, and then there's the original building, even before Miracle on Ice was a thing. So you get to see all these really cool historical things. You get to see the ski jump, like the long jump that they have, like to see that and kind of put it in perspective of how big it is.
That's terrifying, by the way.
It is, absolutely. But like,
yeah,
it was so cool to see all of that and kind of put it in perspective that it's a real thing. It's not just something on TV. But with that being said, I definitely am team Summer Olympics all the way. Big time swimmer growing up. I just enjoy summer stuff a lot more than winter in general. But
yeah,
I will say, so with me not being a college team driven person, like I'm not sitting here going like, let's go Pitt and eat, breathe, die Pitt. I mean, I'll root for them because I'm from Pittsburgh, but everybody can get behind Team USA, assuming you're in the US, of course. Like, so I think having that team to root for makes a big difference in this question.
Yeah.
Like I love the World Cup. Love the World Cup.
Oh yeah. I love the world competitions, right? Like World Baseball Classic is going on right now.
Yes, yeah.
It's actually currently happening. We're facing Venezuela in the final, so
yeah, I got bring that up somehow. I don't have
I
it.
looked, it was 0-0.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, it seems like it's a pitching dominant kind of thing going on right now. Like Paul Skeens. So again, being from Pittsburgh, Paul Skeens. Oh my god.
Beautiful, beautiful game the other night.
Yeah, dude's incredible. But anyway, like just the whole Team USA concept. It's so much easier to get behind that than it is basketball, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If here's the thing for me, Winter Olympics versus March Madness, I get more excited for March Madness just
I
because
get more excited for the first 4 days of March Madness. After that, it fizzles out for me.
That's a really good point. I definitely prefer the first 2 weekends of games.
Once you go down to Sweet 16, it's not as exciting because most people's brackets are busted. You don't know a lot of the teams or players unless you're an avid college basketball fan. And then you're like, all right, well, do I care if Michigan beats Alabama? Like, no.
That's a really good point. I didn't think about that, like the loss in interest over time. I just think about
you're looking for the upsets the first 4 days, right?
Right.
Until you get to the Sweet 16, and then it's like pretty much narrowed down. Maybe a couple Cinderella teams left. But the Olympics can hold my attention for longer.
Yeah.
Especially cheering for USA.
See, I think as much as I want to say Olympics here, I just don't like the Winter Olympics as much. Like
I could watch curling for 3 days.
See, I didn't watch any curling at all in this. Like, not that I don't like curling. I just didn't watch it. I don't know. With the Olympics, especially the Winter Olympics, there's just nothing that I get like really, really, really into other than probably the hockey game. Like, and it's really, it comes down to hockey. It comes down to US versus Canada. That's what I want to watch, you know.
Did you see the skier from Norway sprinting up a hill at like, I don't know, like it was like an insane speed. He was running like a 6-minute mile up a hill on skis. Like that's how fast he was sprinting.
Like this is cross country skiing, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The clip is insane. He's sprinting up this hill and he looks like a robot. He's just, it's like breathtaking how athletic it looks. And you're like, this is when I'd want to see a regular person trying to ski up a hill and like how fast he's really going.
It's like, so I've always seen like the 40-yard combine dash for the NFL. Everybody says you need to, instead of having simulcasting with other NFL players, you need to simulcast it with like Joe Schmo off the street so that people really understand.
That's why Rich Eisen would run it every year.
Yeah. Like just so people really understand how ridiculous what they're doing is. Like that'd be great if they did that with the Olympics. I might get more on board with that.
Yeah.
So for me, if it's the Summer Olympics, I'm absolutely saying Olympics is better, and I'm gonna want to watch more of it. But I'm not gonna lie, I get more excited for March Madness than I do the Winter Olympics. With the exclusion of key events like the U.S. versus Canada, I got really excited for that game.
Amazing, awesome, yeah.
But outside of that, I like you said, the first 2 weekends, especially of March Madness. Like I'll just sit down and watch as many games as possible because it's just so fun.
I'll do the same. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So I didn't think we would be so on the same team there, so to speak.
Should I disagree with you for the next segment?
Yeah, well, no. It's always interesting. So like, it's funny when we do like tier rankings on stream back before we started doing podcasts. It was so contentious, and I always expect the podcast to be a little more. We don't agree, and it's funny how we always end up agreeing on a lot of things. It's surprising to me. Like as we progress through this, more people agree with me on a lot of these things than I thought they would. So the spread on sports, guys. The reason we call this the spread on sports is because we do an over under for. Sorry, we have a sound alert from one of my chatters in the chat. For anybody that is listening to this after the fact, we are recording live on Twitch. You guys do not hear this. I do. So if I'm randomly starstruck or giggle or jump scared, it's because of the trolling chat doing it. So if you want to troll me while we're trying to record this, guys, come watch us on Twitch. Anyway, The over-under for this. So we always do an over-under related to the question. The over-under, I looked up because I thought for sure March Madness would dwarf the Olympic viewership.
I
But
would love to see your bookie and where you got this number from.
so
When you
I
sent me
always
the show
explain
notes, I was like, what the hell is this
I
number?
always explain where I get these numbers from. So the over-under is 23.5 million viewers for March Madness. Now that is not highest. That is sustained. Okay. Will they sustain 23.5 million viewers, over or under? The reason for that number, Avant, so you're aware, is that was the average viewership for the Winter Olympics. 23.5 million viewers. It set a record and like blew the previous one away. The previous record was 19, and the one before that was only like 12. So the last two Winter Olympics in particular, the numbers have just been crazy high compared to before. So I saw 23.5 and I was like, there's no way. But it's so do you think that March Madness is going to have more than 23.5 million average or less?
Less.
Interesting. So that matches your Olympic
So
dominance
sustained.
then.
You said sustained, meaning like through all of the games.
Correct. Like the average viewership throughout March Madness is
Yeah,
over under.
I would expect it to be higher for the first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Not counting the play-in games, not the first 4.
Yeah.
But like starting Thursday, Friday, which is the
Yes.
first round, Saturday, Sunday, which is the second round. You're gonna have high viewers there, and then you'll have high viewership for the final 4 in the championship. And I would expect your Sweet 16 Elite 8 to be a little lower.
Interesting.
So I think overall you'll be under, but I think you'll have higher on the first 2 rounds than the last 2 rounds.
So for integrity purposes, I did not look up what the average viewership for March Madness is in the past.
I did not either.
Yeah.
It's completely arbitrary.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't skewed in my thoughts. But I think I'm going to take the over. I think that more people are going to want to watch March Madness than the Olympics. Like I said, I'm not taking Olympic dominance here. I think March Madness is more fun for me personally. Wait. Am I getting confused? Did you say Olympics is what you would prefer to see or March Madness?
Olympics.
Oh, we disagreed. Never mind. I think I was thinking of Summer Olympics. I would agree on summer. I disagree on winter. Okay. We do disagree.
All right, good.
This is what happens when you get old kids. Shaka gets confused very easily. Anyway, so I'm taking the over. You're taking the under.
Yeah.
Interesting. We're going to have to see what that's like. I'm going to have to check that out and we'll confirm it.
Here's my quick math.
Yes.
Approximately 330 million people in the United States.
Right? I know where you're going with this.
What's your over under?
23.5 million.
Yeah, that's less than 10%. I'm taking that.
The other thing I didn't think about, so the Olympics, it's not just the US. It's everybody in the world for that viewership number. And they said, when I was reading those numbers, they said that because it was in Europe, that's what contributed to it being such high numbers, because it's broadcast friendly for the US.
Mm-hmm.
And
you have people recording, people doing on demand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me think, just from a mathematical standpoint, I'm going to be wrong. But I'm sticking with March Madness, guys. I'm taking the over. All right. Moving on to Galaxy of Gaming.
Galaxy of Gaming.
All right, so the way this category works, folks, we have a reasonable or ridiculous statement, and then we have to decide whether that is reasonable or ridiculous. Pretty straightforward. Today's statement, just a little shout out to one of our viewers, comes from Jmurph. If you guys have any statements or questions or anything that you would like us to discuss here on the Shawk Tawk podcast, folks, make sure you head over to Discord and check out the podcast category, and you will see that you can submit your questions and or statements for the podcast there. All right, Avant. Mobile games have more replayability than console games. Do you think that statement is reasonable or ridiculous?
Ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah. So
I'm a little shell shocked by that. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, because I've been playing a mobile game for 10 years?
Yes, yeah. I thought for sure you were gonna go with mobile on this one.
No. Here's what I have to say about that. I don't consider Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes replayable because it's not like I'm not replaying a story or I'm not replaying. It's not like, I mean, you could argue that the PvE content is replayable,
Hmm.
but I find that to be the most boring part of the game. The best part of the game is the PvP aspect, in my opinion.
Okay.
But I'm more likely, like, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is a one-off. How many people play mobile games forever and ever, like long term? The retention rate is very, very low.
Hmm.
I think people are more likely to take out an old game and replay that game than they are to keep playing a mobile game over and over again.
That's interesting. So I kind of want to see like some stats on stuff because I feel like just the general availability of mobile games means that there'd be a lot more so that's replay is the key word here. More playability. So definitely more playability, I think.
There's a couple standouts that would kind of break my argument.
Okay.
Those are Candy Crush, Clash of Clans,
Yes.
your collectors that are long term, like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, Raid Shadow Legends.
Right.
I hate to say Marvel Strike Force.
Yep.
I was gonna summon Bones in here somehow.
I even think about like not that it's a big game, but like I downloaded a warship game, and I haven't played it in a long time, admittedly, but it was very fun to just get on and just play randomly when you've got some free time. Like, I guess, yeah, so replayability I think is a big factor with that because here's like you said to your point, most mobile games are not like truly free to play. Their goal is to make you pay to continue playing or to be successful in your playing of that game.
Mhm.
So replayability, and especially if it's a monetized game, is terrible. Like I imagine like I forget what the game was. It was one of those scrolling games where you like scroll left and right as your characters run down a thing of stuff. I forget what it was called. I tried that one time, and you can play it for like 20 minutes and then you're done unless you spend money. So like even though it is very, very available and very playable, I guess at times, they limit you so hard unless you're willing to pay money that it really doesn't become replayable. That you raised a very good point on that. I didn't think about the monetization side of those games.
I'll give you an example. A couple games that I've been replaying lately, just enjoying my Nintendo Switch and my they have like a subscription you can get where you can play a bunch of old games.
Mm-hmm.
Like go back and play Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario Brothers 2 or 3 or Donkey Kong. Like a bunch of games that I played as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So fun to go back and play. And
Yeah.
also one of my favorite games growing up was Mega Man. So I like replayed Mega Man X, which was one of my favorites. Mega Man 2 is my favorite Mega Man though.
Huh. So speaking of the Switch, you brought up an interesting question here. Do you consider things like the Switch or Game Boy, to get a little old school, do you consider those things mobile games?
No,
No, okay.
it was a video game.
Video games, just on a handheld device.
Yeah,
Yes.
it predates cell phones.
Right.
To me, I played those on a Game Boy.
Yeah.
I played them on my TV, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you. I wasn't sure because obviously mobile refers to cell phones, but technically those games are a mobile platform, even if we don't think of them as a cell phone game.
Yeah.
Just wondered what your take was on that. But it's funny for me. So I think another factor that goes into this is the type of console games you play too. So,
Sure.
for instance, most of the console games that I play are very story driven, and less so RPG driven. Like Baldur's Gate, I know you can go back and replay over and over and over and over again because you can do different things with it. I don't play those kinds of games as much. I play more like God of War, where it's very linear. Ghost of Yote is another big one that I like a lot. Ghost of Tsushima. With those games, unless I'm looking for trophies and like completionist things, once I'm done with the game, I'm done. Like I won't ever go back and play it again. So in that capacity, I think that does have a lack of replayability because of that particular type of game. Obviously,
Well, once you hear the story, the game is kind of over, right?
right, yeah. So obviously we're talking console games, and so there's a wide variety of those types of console games that you can choose from. But I just kind of want to counter argue that I think it kind of depends on what specific game you're playing more so than it does a platform, if that makes sense.
Did you ever replay the Jedi games? Jedi Fallen Order?
Um, I did not. So, admittedly, I
Yeah.
come at this from kind of a skewed perspective because I played that as a streamer.
Okay.
So like so we did even like Hogwarts Legacy is another example where we finished the main storyline and there were still things we could do yet. Like, so we could have done the bounty hunter thing and revealed Boba
Yeah.
Fett. With
Mhm.
Hogwarts, we could have done the actual graduation ceremony. But like, I hit a certain point as a streamer where I'm like, okay, I feel like I need to move on to another game, do something different.
Did you ever play Mass Effect?
Yes, and that was before I was streaming. So that's probably a better comparison.
Awesome replay game. Because
Yes.
you can do like a different decision tree.
Yes. I did play
Yeah.
that many, many, many times. I loved it. I don't remember which version I played. I want to say it was the original one.
Yeah, the first two were the best ones,
Yeah.
I think.
I think it was it was older. I know that. Like the graphics were fairly old. I don't think I played the
Yeah,
most
it's
recent
like a
ones.
little bit geometric looking in their
Yes.
faces.
Yes, yeah. But I think I played one that was still fairly up to date because the blonde chick was hella hot, like super hot. So
what was her name?
I want to say it's like Ashley
know
or
exactly who you're talking
Amanda,
about.
maybe. Yeah. God, come on, chat? Where are you at with this? I know you're all a bunch of nerds that like fantasize about these people. But like that one is a great example of a lot of replayability. Like you could go
Yeah.
back in and recustomize, but that's more of a. So that's what, an RPG? Yes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's considered more of an RPG.
I think it is.
I believe it is. Yeah. So with those kinds of games, yes, there's way more playability, I think, on a console than mobile. But I think, like I said, I think it kind of depends on the game you're playing. But generally speaking, you brought up a good point. The games on mobile that you play repeatedly and frequently are typically because they force you to, from a monetary standpoint. So I think I might be with you. You said ridiculous, correct?
I did, yes.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, man. You've convinced me. Ridiculous, guys. Anybody that's just listening, I am waving the ridiculous thumbs down. Inherited from Rogue Actions.
I remember that.
Oh yeah, the premiere of that was great.
It was so good.
Every time we would do it, Ram just would lose his shit. He couldn't. He couldn't keep a straight face and keep going.
That was the whole point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't even remember the question, says Jamer.
Nothing he did was reasonable.
Yeah.
It was always ridiculous.
It was always ridiculous. Yes, always. Yeah, I would occasionally do the heel turn, but rarely. I had to keep the audience on their toes. Anyway, we are in agreement, guys. Absolutely, absolutely ridiculous on this one. Console games, far more replayability across the board in general than mobile games. All right, moving on to music, sir.
Musical news 8.
So this is, I think, a really interesting question. It's very straightforward in terms of the question, but I think the elaboration behind this could be really, really unique. This question is also one from J Murph, folks. Just another little shout out from him. Again, if you guys would like to give us questions and or statements to check out, head over to Discord and put those in the podcast category, folks. Our question today, so this is an A versus B type question. What grabs your attention more, male or female voices?
Female.
Really?
Yeah. I think of, so it depends on the genre of music that you enjoy listening to.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my favorite genre is alternative or rock music. There are several female lead singers that I just really like those bands, and I like the singers themselves. First one that comes to mind is Paramore.
Okay.
Haley Williams is absolute boss. Like she's amazing.
She's very good.
And then there's a like I'm gonna say like some different band names, but people are gonna be like, "What the hell is that? I've never heard of that band before." One of them is HAIM. I think it's Haim. I don't know if it's the initials or whatnot.
Okay.
But it's like I think it's like 3 or 4 girls in the band. Love that band. Another one is oh geez, I'm blanking on the names, but there's a bunch of female artists that I really like. I also like. Have you ever listened to a song and you're not sure if it's a male or a female singer because the male singer sings in such a high pitch or like a tone that you can't tell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think immediately of Mitch from Pentatonics. He's such a high alto that I mean I wouldn't even consider him an alto, to be honest with you. I would consider him a mezzo soprano. Um, Adam Lambert is another one that's like that. He's a solo artist from American Idol, I think it was back in the day. Yeah, there are definitely male vocalists out there that have that absurd upper register range.
Yeah. The band I think of is called Borns. You ever listen to Borns?
I am not familiar with them, no.
I think he's like Norwegian or something, but his voice is pretty cool. Borns, Borns.
Hmm. Adam Levine, big deal by the way in chat. Adam Levine, I believe, is a comedian. Adam Lambert is the musician, I believe. I could be wrong, but
Adam Levine is Maroon 5.
oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so they both are vocalists. Adam Lambert, Adam Levine. That's a good point. I forgot he was with Maroon 5. His voice is pretty high.
Yeah.
I would not confuse him with a female voice, though. His is definitively like a tenor. Yeah, no, you're right, big deal. My fault. This is Shaka. Yeah, the black hole of culture. God. The music teacher that knows nothing about music. Yes. I got it. So I feel like you just kind of made an argument against what you said because you said female voices, right?
I like the high pitch of the female voices.
Okay.
And like there's a couple male singers who have higher pitched voices that I also like.
Okay. So you prefer like a Bon Jovi, kind of like you like the screaming high tenor voices, or you even higher than that?
Not screaming.
Well, I mean, Bon Jovi's not really screaming.
That's true.
But when so that's me, I'm a baritone. So when I think of voices like Bon Jovi, Adam Lambert, to me they're screaming tenors because they're just so freaking high. I have to scream to try to sing what they're singing. Like it's just nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not that they're actually screaming. Sorry, that's a baritone perspective, if you will. So you're just drawn to the higher pitch, then, is what you're saying?
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting. So like for me, I think so it makes sense. So trombone is my primary instrument. So I was drawn to that arguably because I prefer lower pitches in general. So like I also prefer the cello in terms of string instruments. This is where I would kind of go with it's just I prefer lower pitches. My family, a lot of us played trombone, so I kind of gravitated towards that because a lot of people in my family play trombone. But me liking the cello the best, I think also confirms that I'm more of a low voice type person in terms of pitch. But I think more so than pitch, I'm drawn to just unique tone of voice.
Okay.
So Adam Lambert is one I would use as an example. His voice is pretty fascinating. Dan Vask, another vocalist that we've done reactions to over on YouTube. They just have very unique tones to their voices that I think, I don't know. I just feel like male voices tend to have that uniqueness.
That's true.
More
There's
so
a
than
couple
female.
male vocalists who are super unique. One of them is Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats.
Okay.
Have you listened to
I've
them?
heard of that group before. I don't know that I'm familiar with the solo artist, but
The other one is Kaleo.
I've heard of that as well. I feel like I
Kaleo
saw a
sings
picture.
that song, Way Down We Go. You would know that song. It was a
Yeah.
super popular song.
Yeah, a lot of these types of stuff I know if I hear it, but I don't necessarily know it by name.
Also, the Black Keys, their voice tone and just their funky sound are really awesome. I love the Black Keys.
Not familiar with
Prefer
that.
their old stuff compared to their new stuff.
Interesting.
It's way more bluesy and funky.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I was leaning towards and thinking of. Like, when I think of like that, like Louis Armstrong is an example.
Yeah.
That gravelly, bluesy type voice. Like, yes, it is there in women. It can exist in women. I think of the movie Ma Rainey. Viola Davis, phenomenal job in that role. But like that female vocal that can be there, Aretha Franklin, to some
Just
degree has that.
No Mariah Carey, please.
No, not Mariah Carey. Like, yeah, I can't. So there's a good example. The whistle tone. I am not a big whistle tone fan at all.
No.
Not drawn to that. So I think that immediately I'm like, nope, thanks. It's impressive. Like, don't get me wrong. It's really impressive when they can do it, but it's not something I'm drawn to. I'll put it that way.
Honestly, I'm horrible with lyrics. So if my wife and I both listen to a song 25 times, she'll know all the words, every single one. I won't know any of the words except for maybe the chorus. I hear the bass.
Yep.
I hear the percussion, and I hear like guitar and keystrokes.
Hear about the instrumentation.
I don't hear lyrics. I hear the music.
I love that our topic that we had with Dunk on the second episode is just becoming a recurring thing in our music discussions, because each person
discussion?
Yeah, well, sort of, because each person is drawn to different things. So we talked about this last week, and we're talking about it again now with you this week. Like what we're drawn to more. Like you said, you're drawn more towards the instrumentation than you are the lyrics. I'm the same way. I'm an instrumentation guy. I could listen to a song over and over and over again and have no idea what they're saying.
I will say to my wife, I'll be like, man, I love the bass line of this song. Don't you hear it? It's like, boom, 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 boom. And she's like, I don't even hear that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's
I'm like, you don't hear the bass slap? Like it's going up and down, and it's a funky beat. Like I like that.
I find that interesting then that you're drawn more towards female vocals, because so again, if you're drawn more towards the bass line and percussion and all that stuff, I would think you would be drawn more towards the lower pitch register than the higher pitch register.
The only way that I can hear the vocals is if they're like more flashed at me.
That makes sense. Like it has to sit on top and be really, really blatantly obvious for you. That I can kind of get. What was that?
Maybe I'm deaf. Maybe I'm hard of hearing.
No, I think it's true for a lot of people. A lot of people, they struggle to hear some of the inner nuances of it. So when we went to school for music, we talked a little bit about, different people have different ranges that their ear is drawn to typically. And most people are going to either hear what is on top of an ensemble because it's just the highest and easiest to pick out, or they're going to hear the very bottom of the ensemble because that's the next easiest thing to pick out. And then some people are drawn to the melody if it's in the middle. But typically if you're trying to so for us, we're doing what's called harmonic dictation, where we try to be able to recognize exactly what harmonies are there, what each individual part is singing, that kind of thing. You kind of start with what your strongest point is. So like for me, when I first started trying to do this, for me, it was easier to hear the bass line. So I would focus in on the bass line. I'd write out the melodic dictation of the bass line, and then I'd go to the melody on the soprano and I'd write out the melody there. And then I would try to determine the interior lines within that. So I think most people do tend to be drawn towards one or the other, that the high or low. They don't typically get stuck in the middle. So that's a good point that you brought up with that. But I still, in terms of vocal leads, I'm definitely more drawn towards that tone. Like Henning May is another example I'll use from our YouTube reactions. His voice is just so unique. Like as I think about all of the different people I've reacted to and the vocalists, like where I can immediately name a name of a person, it's almost always male vocals. Very rarely do I immediately think of a female vocal. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe that's just me. But your team female lead.
Yeah, I'm for the girls.
That does not say anything about our sexuality, guys. It's on a spectrum. Like, what about Mitch? Mitch is awesome. Like, we're all on a spectrum, guys. Speaking of Mitch, do you listen to Pentatonics at all?
Only Christmas time.
Christmas time,
Just
okay.
like when the
That-
songs come up.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. That's what most people do. So I wonder, because you seem to have a very I'm gonna vaguely guess, alternative is your main thing that you like listening to?
I would surprise you with my depth of hip hop knowledge.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting. So if you were to pick a genre that's your number one genre, what would it be?
it's alternative.
It's alternative.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But you do like hip hop a lot. Interesting.
I do dabble with some hip hop, preferably like '90s hip hop, maybe a little bit back into the '80s,
Uh-huh.
and some just trashy 2000s hip hop, just for nostalgic reasons.
Nice. Well, let us know in the comments, guys, either here live in chat or afterwards when you're listening to the recording. Let us know in the comments, folks, what are you drawn more towards? Is it a male voice, a female voice, or is it more of a unique tone like me, or is it more of a pitch-related thing, kind of like Avant was mentioning with him? I'd be intrigued to see what people have to say on that. Welcome in Janu. Just want a little shout out for him on chat. He is next week's guest, folks. So welcome in, sir. Glad to have you. Avant, you ready to move on to our cinematic discussion,
Ready.
sir? All right, here we go.
Scintillating cinema.
So I knew, since you're a Star Wars person, I figured we should at least have one thing that is Star Wars related on this. So this is going to be our Star Wars, our topic here. Cinema. So when we do the cinema topic, folks, we do a thumbs up rating. We do 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down, 2 thumbs down, based on how we think this thing's going to come about and what's going to come from it. So the statement, we'll say, it can be a question, it can be a statement, but the statement that we have here is regarding Mando and Grogu, the new movie that's going to be coming out in May. Do you think, sir, first of all, Avant, are you excited for it, just the movie by itself? Do you think that's going to be a 2 thumbs up? Give me a rating for the movie itself. But then the more important discussion that we have behind this is, do you think this is going to start a new era in Star Wars, similar to how Iron Man started the new era of the MCU?
I'm gonna give this on a level of excitement. I am 2 thumbs up,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna temper my expectations and probably just give it 1
Okay.
because let us all not forget the last time we were in cinema watching Star Wars and what happened.
Oh. Well, the last time
But
was it was Rise of Skywalker, wasn't it?
yeah, it was okay. I went to see a movie with my kids about a month ago. We went and watched Zootopia 2. Amazing movie. So good. The last time I was in a movie theater physically watching a movie was The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh my Lord.
Now, let me fill in some context for you. After Rise of Skywalker, I had 2 children. COVID happened. And the movies just weren't exciting to me. Like if I could get 3 hours of time to myself,
Uh-huh.
I wasn't going to spend them in a movie theater. I was going to spend them going to dinner, there's a lot of more exciting things that I could do in those 3 hours than go to a movie theater and watch a movie. But I am back in a phase of my life where going to the movies is more feasible.
Interesting. I forgot.
A 2-year-old, when I have a 2-year-old, I'm not going to the movies, man.
Yeah.
And if I get a babysitter, no, I'm not wasting that on the movies.
We talked. I forget.
Now it's different.
I forget what episode it was. We talked a little bit about that. I got super pissed off about I went to go see Deadpool versus Wolverine, and there was like a 6-year-old sitting behind me. I was so pissed off. I was like, God damn it! Don't bring your kids to this kind of movie. I want to, because they just kept kicking my seat. It was so irritating. Find a babysitter. But you raise a good point. I didn't realize how long it's been since a Star Wars movie was out. Like
2019.
That's insane. I knew that they said that they wanted to reevaluate, we'll say, what they were doing.
Yeah.
But I
We could call it that.
in my brain, I thought that like Solo and
Oh God,
like I thought
I
all
could
that came
talk
out
for 20
after.
minutes about how I liked Solo and how it didn't get the fair shakedown it deserved.
Yeah, but yeah, that was after The Last Jedi. That's where I was a little
It was,
mistaken. Yeah.
and that was the turning point,
Yes.
the Toyota turning point, as people like to say. Uh, that was when people stopped respecting Star Wars movies. Thanks to The Last Jedi.
Yeah, that's a good point. I
So so Disney pivoted, right? Disney was like, "Oh man, people don't like these movies. We better start making TV shows." And they came out with The Mandalorian, and
yeah,
people are like, "Holy crap, this show is amazing!" And it was amazing. The Mandalorian season 1 and 2, really really good.
agreed.
And then all of their other TV shows were like, man, right? Or highly divisive. And so now they're like, guys, this is not working out. We got to make a big screen movie, which makes sense. Star Wars belongs on the big screen.
I so I don't know if I would agree that they said streaming's not working.
Well, it wasn't making the money
Yeah,
that they were putting into the shows,
right.
right? The amount they were spending to make a TV show, they weren't making it back in the Disney Plus ad revenue. Even with increasing the membership amount and adding commercials and making you pay extra to get rid of the commercials, like they still weren't making their money back.
That's a good point. Yeah. So I think it was very money motivated. They just saw
It always is.
well,
That's
yeah,
the motivation.
that is true. I think they were just trying to find a way to tie what was successful in terms of viewership, which was and fan reaction, which was the streaming, and how do we get that back into the theater where they traditionally make much more money profit wise than they do off the streaming platforms. I don't think so. Book of Boba, I think yes, fell off. What other Star Wars Andor show, which I thought was amazing.
Andor was good, but it didn't have great ratings. It was
Right.
an amazing show.
Yes. Yeah.
Ahsoka was not what
yeah.
people wanted it to be.
That's
Well, some of it was and some of it wasn't, right? I think parts of Ahsoka were good and parts of them were like, okay.
That's a good point. So I think I guess when I compare it to like Marvel, like so the Marvel streaming started out really well with WandaVision, and it just plummeted. Versus Star Wars, I think has been a little bumpy, but for the most part has still been pretty good content overall. But yeah, like they've completely abandoned the Marvel stuff in my opinion, or at least I have. Like I don't know the last Marvel thing
I
I
have
watched.
as well. Yeah, I have as well.
Like it's so bad.
I love your question about Iron Man though, like relating this
Yes.
to the Iron Man moment. So I saw something super interesting on Instagram the other day. It was like, so Sony got the rights to Spider-Man, right?
Mhm.
And then Disney was like, well, we want Marvel. Or I don't know if it was Disney, but basically like Marvel split. And Sony was like, Marvel's trash. There's no good stories. People only care about Spider-Man.
Right.
Right?
And
And
X-Men.
then they made Iron Man. And everybody was like, oh my God. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And who was that? It was John Favreau.
Jon Favreau. Yep.
So this is like very, very much poetic, right?
For anybody that doesn't know, by the way, so Mando and Grogu is being directed by Jon Favreau. So it's in collaboration with Dave Filoni, obviously, because Dave Filoni did a lot of the work with The Mandalorian with Jon Favreau, but the actual direction is Jon Favreau for this movie. So that's
Right.
that's the correlation of Iron Man with that. So like,
But it's a new
Yeah, go
era
ahead.
of Star Wars, right? The sequel trilogy's over. This could be a new launching point for Star Wars. And
so
he cannot miss, because if he does,
uh,
they're going to be like, well, this isn't working out either. How are we going to make content?
that's a good point. So for one, for me, just the general movie itself, I'm gonna same thing as what you said, 1 star, just because I'm gonna temper my expectations a bit. But the launch pad idea, like Iron Man. So the difference here is that Iron Man they really didn't have anything prior to that that was connected to it. So obviously they did have some Hulk movies. Like they had some content that existed before Iron Man, but it was completely unrelated to that movie. And that
Yeah.
movie, after that point, began that whole process of everything being interconnected and creating the MCU.
Mhm.
Right now, with Mando and Grogu, there is a lot of pre-existing content that is tied into that movie. And to bring up kind of Baby Yoda's point here in chat, he talks about one of the reasons that Marvel has fallen off so bad is because it requires so much previous knowledge and previous viewing to know what's happening in these Marvel shows. I feel like I'm worried that it's going to be a similar situation here with Mando and Grogu. So Iron Man, you didn't have to know anything about going into. Mando and Grogu, I feel like you need to know stuff going into it for it to really hit hard and move forward. So I don't see this as much as a launch pad, if you will. Do I think they will roll with it if it's successful? Yes. But it's Disney and Star Wars. Like, I'm so nervous that they're gonna pull the same shenanigans that they did with the sequel trilogy, where they're gonna try this idea. Let's let them do it. We've got a ton of potential. And if it's great, well, then we're just going to try to fire on all cylinders and put out too much content that's not organized and not well thought out. And it's going to be a freaking dumpster fire. Like, I'm so worried about it being that again.
Yeah. I think if Disney's smart and someone is hopefully advising Favreau, he'll tell a different story.
Hmm.
Because people don't want to hear a Skywalker story. They want to hear something different, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Some of the biggest hype that I've heard from people about all of the Disney, like the 1700 Disney movies projects that were going to be made, the biggest hype was for Old Republic, or like the Dawn of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dawn of the Jedi, man. It's somebody you've never heard of. Who's the original Jedi? You could tell
That's
that
true.
story however you want.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah,
You don't have to tell a story about Tatooine and a Jedi on Tatooine, right? You can make it all new characters, all new planets, different lore, maybe different force abilities. Like, they could do anything they want.
that's a good point. Like, we talked a little bit about that with video games becoming movies. I feel like that was also a Dunk episode where if they don't try to just replicate a previously existing story, but they use the IP for the world building, but then they go and they just explore a completely new topic and completely new characters and all that stuff. I think there's a ton of potential with that. Like, and that is why the Mandalorian was so successful. They kind of got back to the roots of a western, essentially, a Japanese western, the Kurosawa films, and just gave us a completely new story with completely new characters, and it was wildly successful. What worries me though is the latest TV series. Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on what it is. The Pirates. Oh goodness. That
The
anyway.
Pirates?
The
Well,
yeah.
the Pirates were Mando season 3.
No. The newest series they came out with the kids and
Oh, Skeleton Crew.
Skeleton Crew. Thank you. That one I thought was great. Again, they took the existing IP, they built out on that lore. They brand new characters, brand new story, brand new area of the universe, and I loved it. I thought it was great, but a
It
lot of
was
people,
lighthearted and fun.
didn't like it, and the viewership was not good on
Really?
it, and like it just. Again, same idea. Like, I just worry, like, you can't please everybody, and I'm so worried about Disney not being willing to say, you know what, people didn't like this, but it's laying a solid foundation for something to be great in the future. We're going to stick by it. We're going to stick it with it. We're going to keep doing this justice and do it the right way, instead of them just saying, "Oh, we didn't make enough money. We gotta
Well,
blow everything up."
do you think that some of the Disney shows, Star Wars shows, were not a success because the storytelling wasn't as strong? I feel like that's what failed a lot of those shows.
For the Star Wars stuff in particular,
Yeah.
I thought the storytelling was pretty good. Like
Yeah.
I thought that Skeleton Crew was really good. Ahsoka was a bit on the kiddie side, but that was intentional. That's Filoni. He likes to keep things connected to kids. Um,
Yeah.
obviously Mando I thought was exceptional. Um, Boba Fett
I
was
think the
terrible,
difference between a movie, yeah, it was not great.
but yeah, I don't think the stories were bad. Like I don't think the writing was necessarily bad. Um,
So here's why the movie's better, because they take a story and they're like, okay, let's pitch this story. The story is about two twins with a ripple in the force, and like I'm talking about the Acolyte, right?
notice I did not allude to that show at all.
If you take if you take the Acolyte and you cut out 3 of the episodes that are build up filler episodes and you cram that all into a movie, it's probably pretty entertaining, right? I think when storytellers condense their story into 2 hours instead of 5 to 6 hours,
Yeah,
it grabs your attention. There's a good flow. You don't have time for emptiness. And then there's like maybe a couple peaks and valleys. You get to a good point in the movie where it climaxes. Maybe there's a little dip after that, and then another exciting action at the end. Like it grabs your attention. You're in. Boom, done. Story's over. It's not like there isn't a bunch of crap in the middle, which is the problem with a lot of the shows because they release them week to week, and people get disinterested.
that's a good point. I see. I don't have a problem with the long game on a lot of shows. I know a lot of people do not like that. Like I loved Andor because I'm all
People
about
want to
that
binge
slow
watch
build.
things, man. It's
Yeah,
like the culture these days. People want to watch 4 or 5 episodes at once, you know?
yeah, I get that. I'm just old, man. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I don't know. I'm worried about this because I feel like Disney doesn't know what they want. They don't know whether they want to please the new generation. They don't know when
They know what they want. They want to make
they
money.
want to make money, right? But how do they do that? Do they please the young generation? Do they please the old generation? You know, like they're
I
just so
don't think
torn.
I think that you don't please a generation. I think people will watch a good story. If you write and tell a good story, people will watch it.
That's a
And I
good
think
point.
that's where they've failed in recent history.
That's a very good point, especially
It,
with the sequel trilogy
we're,
in particular.
we're all consumers, right?
Right.
You consume the hype for The Force Awakens was wild
Yes.
because it had been a while since they had a new Star Wars movie. People went out and watched it. People were like, you know what? There was a story. It was a recycled story. There were some member berries, which is good, catered to the older crowd. But that movie wasn't made for me. It was
Right.
made for the next generation of Star Wars fans.
That's a good
And
point.
then, and and, and so you may lose the older generations, but they're just gonna be grumpy Clint Eastwood on the porch shaking their fist at you, right? It doesn't matter.
What's that movie? The
Gran Torino.
Gran
He's
Torino.
like,
Thank you.
he's
Yes.
like,
Yeah, that was a good movie, by the way.
awesome movie, awesome
Yes,
movie.
agreed. Okay, so all right, in terms of starting a new era, like Iron Man did with the MCU, I feel like
I
this is
think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen.
I feel like this is a cop out. So, do I think it's going to happen? I don't. I don't think it's going to happen. Do I want it to happen? Yes. The idea of it starting a new era like Iron Man did is absolutely 2 thumbs up for me. I am all
Let me ask
for
you
it.
this:
Make it happen.
how much do we know about the plot of the movie without spoiling anything?
I really don't know much at all.
Exactly. That's why it's the new chapter. They're gonna tell a new story, go a new direction.
Well, isn't it so? Isn't it supposed to be? And I don't know if this is true or not. Isn't this supposed to start kind of a new telling of like the Thrawn arc?
Perhaps,
I believe.
perhaps.
Isn't
I,
that because that's
I
what they
think
originally said?
what you're gonna see is that like it's supposed to take off right after Mando and Grogu are sitting on their front porch at his place.
Yeah.
that Grief Karga gave him, right?
Right.
So I think what you're gonna see is in the trailer, there's a bounty hunter who approaches. Who can I say who it is? It's in the trailer.
It's if it's in the trailer, go ahead. I did see it. I just can't recall.
It's Embo. Embo
Oh,
approaches.
That's right.
Approaches Mando, and then all you know is that Mando is like talking to the New Republic about like going on a mission or whatever, right?
Hmm.
And he's talking to Sigourney Weaver, and you're probably going to see Carson Teva, and you're going to see Zeb Aurelios, and there is some giant muscular Hutt who we presume is Rada the Hutt.
Right. I feel like that's been confirmed.
And he's fighting Rada in some kind of Coliseum battle. And the two Hutts from the Book of Boba Fett are also in the trailer.
Yeah, I definitely. That's a good point. The story does seem fairly new with potential,
but that's very, very vague, right? You don't really know anything, so
yeah.
we're not sure where they're gonna go with it.
That is a good point. Okay, so I said 2 thumbs up on the idea of it. The execution's a whole other story. Where are you at with the idea of this creating a new era?
I'm giving it 1 thumb up because I'm cautiously optimistic.
So you're not coming at it from a yes, I absolutely want this. You're not coming at it from that idea. You're coming at it.
I want it to be 2 thumbs up, but I feel like a scarred boyfriend who's been broken up with several times, and I just have to like put my guard up.
I hear you on that, sir. I'm totally on board with that, man. Totally on board. Love it. I cannot wait to see it. Are you going to see it opening night?
It's my wife's birthday, so probably not.
Gotcha. I probably will not see it opening night, just because that's right around concert season for us, so I probably won't do that. But I definitely do want to see this in the theater, though, regardless.
I'm going to see it in the theater, and it will be like close to the launch date.
Yes.
Most likely.
Yeah, I'll probably shoot for that. That's before Memorial Day weekend?
Yes.
Yes.
May 22nd.
Yeah. Yes.
It's usually around the time of the Preakness Stakes, if you're into horse racing.
See, ideally, I would see it before the weekend, that first weekend is over. Oh, no, that is Memorial Day weekend. Oh, bananas. Yeah, because of the way the calendar falls. That is Memorial weekend.
That's crazy.
I will not see it until the weekend after then, probably. Oh, that stinks. I might have to go opening night.
Friday Memorial Day weekend.
I might have to go opening night.
That's a big weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure it's intentional on our part. Ugh. Yeah, I gotta have to figure that out. All right. Anyway, moving on to our final tier, guys.
Tiramisu Tap Room.
We got the tiramisu tap room. This is kind of this is slowly becoming one of my favorite topics that we have, because this is just.
I'm looking the most forward to this topic.
I feel like everybody likes this one the most. I think it's a fun, nuanced way to approach it, and it's very lighthearted compared to the other ones that get a little bit more serious at times. So we're going to be tier ranking smoked meats. We're going to kind of piggyback off of Aussie Mike's episode, which was episode 3 for anybody that would like to go check that out, where we talked about the best methods of cooking barbecue in particular. Today, because of that inspiration, we're going to talk about the best meats to smoke. So we talked in that episode. I said smoking was the best approach. Aussie Mike said that we'll call it campfire cooking was the best approach. Avant is also team smoked meats as well, correct, Avant?
Oh yeah.
I've
never campfire cooked really, but no, you can't beat charcoal flavor. It's better than everything.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with the following 5 smoked meat items. We've got brisket, ribs, pork shoulder. Pork shoulder, for those of you that are uninitiated to cooking, that's basically like pulled pork. So if you guys have ever had pulled pork sandwiches, that's where pulled pork comes from. It's from the pork shoulder. We have chicken, and that can be kind of any variation on chicken. It can be wings, it could be thighs, it could be whole chickens, whatever your preferred thing is there. And then salmon, another very common smoked meat. So Yvonne, just so you and everyone listening are aware here with this, we have 5 tiers. We have S tier, A tier, B tier, Canada. That's something that we do here. And then D tier. And it goes from top to bottom in that order. Now, the little change that we make here with this, normally you could put as much into any tier that you want to. But here we like to make things spicy. You can only have one item in any given tier. So, for instance, if you put brisket in D tier, you cannot put anything else in D tier. Okay, so one item per tier. So, with that being said,
ever put brisket in
I tried to pick one that was the exact opposite of what we would do. This is an example. This is like one of the when like as a teacher and you're trying to use a ridiculous example of something in class, you pick like the nicest, most amazing kid ever to say something bad about, and everyone knows you're joking. Because if I pick the jerkhole in the corner, everyone's like, "Why are you picking on him?" Like, so always go for the opposite. Fun teaching fact, guys. All right. Anyway, brisket. So this is beef. First of all, anybody who's not aware, right? This is a beef brisket. Very, very long cooking process for brisket in particular. Yvonne, have you ever smoked a brisket?
Oh yes, I did last week, 2 weekends ago.
Did you do a whole brisket or a portion of the brisket?
So it was gifted to me by someone, so it was not a whole brisket; it was a portion.
Have
It was
you
like a portion of a brisket flat.
have you ever smoked a full brisket before?
Not a point and flat together, no, because it's crazy expensive.
Yes.
I have smoked a full flat
Okay.
and I've smoked a full point, but I've not smoked the two of them together.
Gotcha. So similar. I've only ever smoked portions of a brisket. One, like you said, cost. Two, time. When you're smoking an entire brisket, it is an incredibly long amount of time. So for anybody that's not aware, the more poundage of meat you have, the longer you have to cook these things. So when you're doing a full brisket, it's literally like a 16-hour process.
Yeah, the one I did 2 weeks ago was 3.5 pounds, and it took 6 hours.
Yep.
But if you're gonna smoke like an 8 or 9 pound brisket, which is about a full flat,
Right.
it'll take you 10 to 12 hours.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I've only ever done portions. So not only for those reasons, but also too, typically, so unless I've got family over, I'm cooking for myself, and I am not going to eat an entire brisket.
A whole flat
Right? Yeah, no way. So I'll get like a portion of a brisket. I'll still try to time that when family's over, and even then, that's enough to feed everybody. So, so I've done portions, but not full ones. Okay. So with that being said, Avant, where would you put this and why?
Brisket is the S tier. I mean, I almost didn't put it as S tier. I almost put it as A tier just to like piss somebody off and get somebody riled up. But it really is S tier. And when you go to a barbecue joint, you order the brisket. It's
true.
the best thing you can order. And if it's not good, then you don't go back to that place because it's not a real barbecue joint.
So you raise a really good point. My favorite barbecue place that I've ever gone to, it's ironically in just some small little town in the middle of PA. Like it is not a big joint that you would expect like in a city or anything like that. I always get brisket when I'm there. In fact, so I'm going to do a bit of a counter argument here. I always get brisket from there because it is so difficult to cook really, really well, in my opinion. Ribs, I never get from a smoking joint because I can make some hella good ribs at home when I'm smoking. Like arguably better than I've gotten from any smoking joint. I think the ease of cooking these things is going to come into play a little bit for me, as well as how good it is. So because of that, because of how difficult brisket is, and because of how long it is, and how it's really hard to eat it in one sitting with just like one person, for instance, I'm going to put it in A tier.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect that choice, but you're wrong.
Your reasoning is very good. It is really, really solid. I do love me a brisket, but yeah, I'm going to go A tier. All right. Moving on to ribs, which is kind of my second point here. Ribs. I love ribs, man. I love them. They are so fun to cook. The prep time that goes into it and seeing something that would taste like complete ass normally cooked any other way. And it is so much better when smoked. It just makes it so good. And you can kind of cook these up to be any kind of portion that you want them to be. You can feed all sorts of different people. It's very messy, unlike brisket at times. Brisket, you can just put on a sandwich and you're good to go. Ribs, you pretty much have to eat them as is. But for me, because I've mastered ribs at this point, I would say they're S tier for me. How about you?
Canada. Ribs are Canada tier.
What? What?
Yeah. So I like ribs, but I prefer beef ribs over pork ribs because I feel like they have more flavor.
Oh my God. Really?
And I think they're I think beef ribs are more challenging to cook. But if you've ever had a really good short rib, delicious.
See, I am not a
But
fan of beef ribs.
Here's what I'll say about pork ribs. There's a restaurant in my town that makes amazing pork ribs.
Uh-huh.
They're so good. I also make good pork ribs. I just feel like they're not hard to make. And that's why for me they're Canada tier. Because I think there's a lot of different ways people like to make them, right? People do dry rubs, they'll do wet ribs, they'll do party ribs,
Mhm.
which I think is the best way. I don't know. I hate taking the membrane off of them. I hate cutting them. I hate the little knuckles on the end of them. I find them to be just like the high maintenance aspect of pork ribs, just not worth it for me.
They are very high maintenance. I'll give you that. So one
Like
argument.
when you get the different cuts, right? You get the baby backs. A lot of times they're good, but every once in a while you get that rack of baby backs where there's like the little knuckle cartilage things on the end, and you can't cut through them. You can't eat that part because it's all disgusting and gristly. Like, no, I'm not here for that.
That's a good point. So one thing I will say, I didn't think of this until you were pointing out the cooking process and the prep process of this. So with brisket, especially because of how thick it can be, a lot of times one of the problems with that is that the smoke flavor, which is my favorite part of smoking foods, you don't get as much of that in a brisket as you do with ribs, because ribs is a very, very thin cut of meat essentially, and it's because it's a
Ribs
white
are
meat.
also a faster cooking time.
Yes,
You only get smoke into the meat at the very beginning of the cook.
correct. But because it's thinner and it's a white meat, so it absorbs that better than a dark meat does. To me, you get more smoked flavor with a rib than you do with a brisket.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
So
But I want to taste the brisket. I don't want to taste like just go eat an ashtray or something. Shaka.
I just love the pink, man. Like the more pink, the better. And I'm talking about ribs, guys. Settle down.
Yeah.
But
The smoke ring. He's talking about the smoke
yeah,
ring.
exactly, the smoke ring. So of the three types of ribs, your number one go to is beef ribs.
If I'm gonna order them at a restaurant, if I'm gonna cook them, no, I'll make baby back party ribs.
I'm a baby back person as well. That's my preferred one. All right, so we've vastly differ on that one. You're gonna have to let us know, chat or comments, who's right on that one. I've got them S tier. Avant's got them Canada. We are way off on that one. Okay, pork shoulder, aka pulled pork. Where are you at on this one, Avant?
B tier.
What the? What? What?
Okay, here's my reasoning. Pork shoulder is delicious, but it's not gonna get my A tier because I'll explain why later. But for me, B tier, it takes a long time. If you really want it to be tender and juicy, it takes like a solid 8 hours for a big pork shoulder to get it up to 205 and shredded, right? And I am the type of person that likes to get heavy smoke in there in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because when you shred it up, I want the tips to have like a good amount of bark on them, and then a nice red smoke ring in there.
Yeah. I don't understand your ranking though. Like
chicken greater than pork shoulder. That's why.
So for me, pork shoulder is D tier. It's the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So all the good things you said about it are why it sucks. Like, so that crispy bark, that beautiful pink smoke ring, when you tear it all apart and then just throw it in a big old pile of barbecue sauce, you lose that. You lose that.
Let me
You
stop
don't
you there.
appreciate
Let
that.
me
Like,
stop you there. If it's good enough, you don't have to sauce it. It's nice and juicy, and it has good seasoning and good flavor. You don't
Okay.
have to sauce it. A lot of people like to, which is fine. But I will judge you if you do that in my house.
I'll give you that, because when I eat my ribs, I eat them dry as well. I don't eat wet ribs.
Yeah,
They should be
dry
good just
rub
on
is
their own.
is the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I just feel like the visual beauty of it is lost a bit. So like brisket
That's fair.
versus pork shoulder, very, very similar in terms of like the taste profile, we'll say, minus the pork versus beef factor. But the presentation factor of brisket is so much more elegant, like, because it's typically cut in strips. You can see that bark, you can see the nuances of the cook, versus a pork shoulder. You don't see that. It's just, a
It's just
slop
kind
of
of ripped
meat.
into oblivion.
Yeah, exactly. For me, even though it tastes great, like, don't get me wrong, I'd eat a pulled pork sandwich any day of the week. But given the 5 choices we have here, I got to go D tier, man. I can't believe you have that as high as you do. That's nuts.
No, D tier for me is salmon. Smoked fish is disgusting.
All right, we're gonna get that in a second. All right, so the fourth one, maybe we'll find common ground on this one. Chicken.
Yeah.
So first question: what is your preferred cut of chicken? We'll say to smoke.
Chicken thighs.
Okay, I like chicken
I
thighs
also-
a lot.
I love to do smoked chicken thighs. Close second for me would be a whole chicken that's spatchcocked.
Okay. So I've never done a whole chicken. I've done whole Cornish hens before, and they're phenomenal. Chicken though, I've done thighs and I've done wings. Thighs are probably my favorite cut of chicken, but
Do you go bone in or boneless?
typically bone in,
Okay.
just because it's easier to get that. I do appreciate a good boneless thigh though.
I buy them boneless at our wholesale.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I typically get my stuff from Aldi, so they don't have as many options with that.
Makes sense.
But I've mostly done chicken wings, just because, again, when you have a group of people over, that's the easiest thing to serve to people versus say, here's a whole chicken, guys, have fun. Nobody wants to do
wings
that.
are amazing. I
Yes.
love smoked wings, but my favorite is probably chicken thighs.
Gotcha. So when you smoke them, do you get to the point, because in my opinion, this is the right way to do it, do you get it to the point where the skin is so crisp it's almost like they were deep fried?
So a lot of times with my thighs, I'll
Mhm.
do boneless, skinless.
Okay.
But if I do wings, yeah.
Okay.
And the trick there is to like do your dry rub, and then what is it? Baking powder? I think you put baking powder in there.
So I've heard of that method. I have just recently I saw that's like, I was reading an article about the different ways you can make chicken wings, and that was the preferred one by the author of the article. I've never seen that or tried that though.
I've done it in the oven. I've never done that on the grill, so I don't know how that translates.
Yeah, that's what it was. They did it in the oven.
If you bake them in the oven with baking powder and the dry rub, they get pretty crispy. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued to give that a try. But like, so when I've smoked them, the best I've ever smoked them actually was not in a smoker. It was over a campfire, but we converted it into a smoker, if you will. But the smoke was so prevalent and so heavy compared to like a smoker where it's not near as heavy, that it just created almost a black skin. It wasn't black, like it was like a brown color, but it was incredibly crispy and easily the best chicken wings I have ever had, even compared to like fried, just because of the immense amount of smoke on them. And again, chicken being we'll call it a lighter meat. I know it's obviously wings and thighs tend to be dark meat, but it's a lighter meat in general. So to me, that absorbs the smoke flavor a lot better than the dark meats like beef do. So I would put chicken personally. I can't believe I'm saying this. I would put it in C tier. Like, I love chicken. I love smoked chicken so much. But I can't put it above brisket or ribs, in my opinion. So I gotta go Canada.
For
Where
me,
are you putting yours?
chicken's A tier for me because
Okay.
it's versatile in like the pieces you can pick. It's quick to cook. It's easy to do for parties, and I think it's a good vessel to hold whatever dry rub seasoning you use, whatever wood chip smoke, like whatever wood flavor you pick. It's a good vessel for you like concocting and chefing, right? You
Yeah.
can do a lot of different things.
Interesting. So you're taking the versatility of it as a big factor in its ranking then.
And the fact that it's easy to cook, quick to cook.
Yeah.
Like you're not smoking chicken for 6 hours. It's done quick.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
What's your favorite dry rub on the chicken?
I usually do. So I prefer my chicken to be a little bit on the spicier side. So I always I get mixed seasonings and stuff from Aldi's based on whatever they got. So I do what's called a spicy chicken rub. It's basically just a combination of, sugar, pepper, salt, chilies, traditional garlic, onion, that kind of thing. But it's a little bit on the spicier side. There's no like lemon or anything like that in there. I know a lot of people like lemon pepper. That's a big flavor right now.
That's not one of my favorites. Actually, one of my least favorites.
Yeah, I don't mind it for a dry rub on fried breaded chicken wings, but for an actual like smoked wing or something like that, I prefer something that's gonna meld better with the smoking. So
Yeah.
like that, I like Cajun a lot. Cajun wings is a big favorite of mine. Again, a dry rub. I think that melds well with the smokiness.
I have a rub called Cowboy Crust.
Mhm.
It's an espresso chili
Ooh,
blend. It's really good.
I've never tried.
The other one I
espresso.
like is honey chipotle.
Yeah, that's a solid choice as well.
You got to be careful on the grill. The honey granules will burn. So you have to be a little bit light on them, but honey chipotle is really good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the spicy sweet combination.
Not honey itself. If you use honey, it's gonna burn into hell.
Oh yeah.
But they make honey granules. It's a good dried out honey, I guess.
Right. So I think of like Nashville seasoning. Nashville's another one I like on my
Ooh,
chicken
I
a
love
lot.
Nashville
Like
hot, yeah.
Nashville's got a really good combo of that sugar as well as the spice. It's just a beautiful combo of flavors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Man, I want to bump chicken up so bad right now. You know what? I'm doing it. I'm moving it up to B. I'm gonna move it to B. I'm putting it over salmon, just because of the versatility
Didn't want
factor.
salmon. I've said it 4 times.
Yeah, you convinced me with the versatility factor. All right, chicken's going to B for me then. All right, well done, Yvonne. I think you're the first guest that's convinced me to change one of my rankings so far. I'm usually pretty stubborn about that. All right, that brings us to salmon then.
The worst in the basement.
I can't believe you have this as D tier though. Like,
D-tier. Oh yeah. No,
salmon
if
is okay.
What are your
thoughts?
Fish,
What are your thoughts on salmon in general?
horrible fish.
Oh, so
Horrible.
you aren't even a fan of salmon.
There's one type of salmon that I enjoy. And
Okay.
It's sockeye salmon.
Okay.
Sockeye salmon tastes good. Atlantic salmon is like, it's so boring. It's so boring.
This makes a little more sense to me then. If you're not a big salmon person, I do love salmon.
I like fish. I
Yeah.
find salmon to be very boring.
I get that, especially compared to like tuna.
Also-
Like I love a good tuna, not
Like a tuna
canned.
steak tuna?
Yeah, tuna steak, not canned tuna. Screw that
Okay.
stuff.
I would rather have tuna than salmon,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna pan sear my tuna. I'm not gonna cook it on the grill.
That's
You
a good
can
point.
grill it.
Yeah.
I just prefer it like quick, hard sear in a pan, done.
Yeah,
Still red in the middle.
I'm with you on that. I don't think I would smoke tuna steaks. So with salmon, have you smoked salmon before?
My problem with trying to smoke salmon is I feel like it dries out.
Yes, that is tough. I agree with that. So the wood board, in my opinion, is vital. So obviously you use that when you grill to kind of try to offset some of the heat a little bit. For
Yeah.
smoking, for me, the big thing is less so much about the offsetting of the heat as much as it's about the moisture. Like soaking that wood through and through, and not even necessarily in water. Like I don't hate doing like a lemon water mixture for what I'm soaking that wood in, and then the salmon can kind of absorb a little bit of that lemon flavor into it as it's smoking. That adds a nice little nuanced layer to it. So salmon is very open to absorbing flavors, which is something that I think makes it really good compared to like beef, for instance. That I think just it allows it to do a lot of unique things, and it's subtle, so it allows a lot of subtle flavors to shine. Unlike, chicken where we're putting a whole bunch of spicy stuff on it. But it is difficult to smoke. I will give you that.
I'm team pan-sear when it comes to fish. Pan-sear my fish. Nice and crispy, like a crispy skin and just flaky fish. Yeah.
Do you eat sushi? Raw sushi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love sushi, and I've also had sashimi several times.
Sashimi.
If you go to a good sushi place, get the sashimi.
Yes,
Like
I agree.
Chef's Choice sashimi.
Yeah. Sashimi's my favorite far and away. Like
I've eaten octopus sashimi, and it was so good.
yeah.
But like you don't just go to like the local Japanese steakhouse and order some sashimi. No, maybe your local Japanese steakhouse is better than mine. I don't know.
No. So most of the
Like you don't go to Sakura and get sashimi.
people are gonna get so mad. Most of the time when I get sushi, I get it from our local grocery store called Giant Eagle, and you get what you pay for. It's it's pretty terrible.
You're paying $6 for a California roll probably, and it's like 4 pieces. They didn't even give you the whole roll.
What you get isn't too bad. So like I usually get a tuna salmon combo, and it's usually about $15 for one of them, and you get like 8 pieces to 12 pieces depending on which one you
Not
get.
bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not terrible for the price you're paying. But you're like, so the sashimi you get with that, it's a fairly thin cut of fish on the sashimi. It's mostly rice. Versus there's a place called Taipei Tokyo, something like that. That I went to for the first time. Oh my god, their sushi. Good lord, the cuts of fish on those were so crazy thick with the sashimi, like blew it out of the water. I mean, it was way more expensive compared to like the grocery store. Yes, you definitely get what you pay for though. It was so much better.
And I prefer the raw versions of sushi, like as compared to like tempura fried or those kinds of things.
Yes, I agree.
I'd rather have them raw.
Yeah, I like to taste the fish if I'm eating sushi. I don't want to taste all the extra stuff. Okay, so for me, I hate the idea of me putting this in Canada, but I have to. Where are you putting salmon out of line? You said D tier, right?
Oh, at the very bottom, yeah. It's the worst.
Well, I guess we're not terribly far on that one. You had chicken A. We're a little off on that one. Pork shoulder, we're way off on. I can't believe you have that so high. That's nuts to me. Wow. Interesting. Well, let us know in chat, guys, and or in comments if you're listening to this after the fact. Whose ranking do you think was better? Do you think mine is right? Do you think Avant's is right? Do you think we're both wrong? And you think there's a better version of this than what we did? I'd be intrigued to hear, because let's be honest, everyone loves smoked meats and has some very strong opinions on it. Correct, Avant?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Love it, guys.
100%.
All right. Well, Avant, before we call it an evening here / day for anybody that's listening to this afterwards, let everybody know where they can find you and how they can get more of you, sir.
I am on Twitch on Avant_docs, AVANT_DOX. But I have not been on Twitch myself, solo streaming Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes very much in the past several months. Hoping to do that soon. But if you really want to hang out with me, you can come hang out with me. 3 Scoundrels in a Cantina. We do our weekly Swigo podcast Thursday nights, 8:30 Eastern, approximately. And Who knows what we're going to talk about? Nobody knows. I don't think we even know what we're going to talk about some weeks.
That's what makes it great, man. That's that's why I kind of like we have our 5 tenets here of what we're going to talk about, but within those things, you never know what we're going to talk about. It's fun just keeping the audience on their toes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, guys, the Three Scoundrels in a Cantina absolutely does that very, very well. Highly recommend their podcast, guys. They are a Swugga podcast, but they talk about a lot more than just Swugga. A lot of great stuff. Very interesting personalities. Avant is what I would call the voice of reason in that crew. How would you describe yourself within that group of 3 there, Avant?
You were right to bring the voice of reason on first before the other two.
Yeah, everybody gets the oh, so this is what the smart end of the tail looks like compared to when you get the other 2.
Yeah, your episode with Bones. You're gonna need a bingo card.
I know, right? I debated trying to get the 3 of you back to back to back, but I was like, nah, we gotta mix it up a little bit. I can't have it just
we
be
need
back to back.
doses. You need doses of this.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't have us all at once.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, make sure you guys get over there. Check them out over on Twitch. They've got their Discord channel as well. You can obviously find all that stuff out over there on Twitch. But check them out over on Twitch, guys. A great time. Obviously, when Avant gets back into streaming full-time solo, check out his stuff as well. It's a good time. Very good content. Highly, highly recommend, everybody. Avant, any final parting words before we call it a day here?
Thank you for having me on. I had a great time. It flew by really fast. And I still can't believe your rankings. Jesus. God.
S tier ranking here, baby. S tier ranking. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your time. We will catch you next time on Shawk Tawk.
Welcome on in and take a seat. Conversations that can't be beat. Music and movies, to name a few. Sports and drinks and tiramisu. This is a podcast for everyone. Time to chat and have some fun. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Time to chat and have some fun. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. This is a podcast for everyone. Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk.